I read it 4 times, and I still don't know what it means. That's Nadia. Tuesday night. An inbox. 1 email from YC Combinator. 90 seconds of dead air after she read it. That's where today starts.
Welcome back, everyone, to year 1.
Good to be back. So we're spending this whole episode inside Nadia's month. The customer she chased, the feature she killed, the hire she put off.
And the fundraise she shut down on her own, quietly, without telling half her team.
Which we'll get into why that choice runs against what a lot of founders are hearing this cycle.
To widen the lens, a UC partners read on how they pattern match founders sitting exactly where Nadia's sitting right now.
What actually changes the morning you get a yes or a no?
And by the end, Miles and I each land on one thing, one number, one honest answer we're holding Nadia to in September, no matter what UC decides.
August 28th. That's the date circled on her calendar.
So let's go back to Tuesday night.
The email. I mean, she's read this email 4 times, and she still can't tell you what it actually says.
That's kind of the whole story right there, isn't it?
The line she keeps circling, your application has advanced to the next stage of review. That's it. No yes, no no.
And look, that's the pattern I've seen 100 times. Founders read advanced as we want you because that's what they needed to mean in that moment.
She did, but nowhere in that sentence does it say interview.
So what's she actually holding in her hand?
A status update, nothing more.
Okay, so let's get the actual dates pinned down.
Right. She submitted before the on-time cutoff. Y Combinator's own applications page puts that at July 27th, 8 p.m. Pacific.
And when is the verdict actually locked?
August 28th, 17 days out from where we're sitting right now.
So when did this email land?
Tuesday night late, 11:52 p.m.
So she's sitting there at midnight, still hitting refresh, not even tired?
She was awake, waiting. I mean, really waiting. The kind where you're checking your phone every few minutes. And Y Combinator's own process notes say most interviews happen by video through August and September, so a message showing up mid-August isn't a verdict. It's a placeholder in line.
Which she knows intellectually.
Sure. Doesn't stop you reading it 4 times anyway.
Here's what got me, though. What she did in the 90 seconds right after she read it.
What'd she do?
She didn't call her co-founder, didn't text anyone. She opened her bill log and wrote down the exact minute she got it.
She timestamped it?
Down to the minute. That's not relief. That's someone bracing for something.
Or someone who's been burned by ambiguity before and knows that a record of exactly what was said in that exact moment matters later.
Maybe both. But that 90 seconds tells you more than whatever shows up on the 28th will.
Which raises the obvious question. What was she actually doing in the weeks leading up to that email landing in her inbox? Okay, so forget the email for a second. What did she actually do with that month?
That's the real question.
Right. So week 1, she's still building. She signs a pilot with a regional produce distributor, I want to say 14 stores, and she's manually reconciling their inventory feed by hand every night.
By hand?
By hand. No automation yet. That's the thing about early traction. It's ugly before it's real. Week 2 is where it gets interesting. She kills a feature, a supplier matching tool she burned 6 weeks on because the customer never touched it once.
6 weeks gone?
Gone. And in the same week, she postpones a hire, an ops lead she'd basically promised an offer to because payroll would have wiped her runway to under 2 months.
Would she defend that call if the answer's no?
She told me yes without blinking, said the alternative was hiring someone into a company that might not exist by October.
Hard to argue with the math.
And then there's the customers she chased, a wholesale bakery chain bigger than the produce account that had gone quiet for 3 weeks. She got them back on a call and they signed a paid pilot the following Monday. That's not waiting, that's grinding.
So the month wasn't dead time, it was a second sprint.
Yeah, and that's the framing I've heard from YC partners directly. They treat what you build between submission and interview as some of the strongest signal in the whole process.
So the form isn't the pitch, the month is.
That's the read. And founders are allowed to send updates after they've applied, so silence on your end doesn't mean silence on YC's end.
Did she send anything?
2 updates, one after the bakery contract, one after a small local news mention.
Smart.
And here's the other piece. From what I've seen this cycle, applications for fall 2026 get read rolling, not all dumped at the deadline.
Which means the calendar she's staring at might not even reflect when her file actually got looked at.
Exactly. Somebody could have read her application in week 1 and be sitting on it, or read it last Tuesday.
So none of this, the bakery, the feature she killed, the hire she held off, none of it was really about waiting.
No, it was about not being the same company by anyone opens the file. That's the difference between waiting and positioning.
Except every one of those calls, the customer, the feature, the hire, assumes she gets the yes.
Yeah, I hadn't really sat with that until you said it.
So what does she build for the other outcome? Because there's a second thing she started this month and quietly stopped.
The parallel raise.
The parallel raise.
So there's a thread I want to pull that Nadia hasn't touched. The raise she started, then just stopped running.
The parallel round. She had 3 meetings booked back in July.
3 meetings, 1 soft yes on terms, and then nothing. No follow-up for 17 days.
17 days? That's not too busy. That's a decision.
That's what I asked her. Who told you to stop? She said nobody told her. She just didn't want to look like she was hedging.
Hedging against what, though?
That's the word she wouldn't say out loud. So I asked her directly, what happens to your co-founder's confidence if the answer's no? She deflected. Twice.
What'd she say the second time?
Something about, we'll figure it out. Then she pivoted straight back to the ops hire.
Yeah. That's a real silence, actually.
It sat there a while, yeah.
So flip it around. Is stopping the raise the mistake, or does it just look that way from outside?
Round Funded put out a guide for this exact fall 2026 window, arguing you keep outreach running in parallel, so a rejection costs you a no, not the whole company.
A single no, not the whole raise. So the logic is run both engines and one rejection doesn't sink everything.
That's the pitch. She's read it. It's everywhere right now. She's resisted it anyway.
Why, if the math's that clean?
I don't think it's math for her. Stopping the raise was the one place she could control the story. Keeping 2 processes alive means admitting the yes isn't guaranteed.
And running just the one means she never has to say that out loud, not even to her co-founder.
Maybe not even to herself. So what actually happens to the co-founder if it's a no? She never answered that. Somebody's watched hundreds of founders sit in this exact window, though.
Let's hear how a partner reads it. Zoom out for a second. YC partners have watched hundreds of founders sit in exactly this window Nadia's in right now.
And the pattern's not subtle if you're watching closely enough. Founders who keep shipping during the wait are fine either way. The ones who go quiet and start refreshing their inbox every 10 minutes, that's your behavioral tell. Those are the ones who crack on a no.
Which is the tell, right? Motion versus paralysis.
Exactly. It's not about confidence. It's about whether you can hold 2 outcomes at once and keep working anyway.
So say the call comes and it's a yes. What actually changes the next morning?
Money moves first. One widely cited YC interview guide, Round Funded, I think it was, described the standard $500K deal funding the moment you're accepted, not when the batch starts.
Not weeks later. Immediately.
Immediately. And the batch itself runs in person in San Francisco through the fall.
Which means if Nadia gets the yes, she's relocating a company, not just updating a calendar.
Right. That's the part founders underestimate. The operational scramble starts before the excitement wears off.
Now flip it. Say it's a no.
Here's what nobody talks about enough. Interview teams, regardless of outcome, get written feedback, detailed, specific from the partners who sat on that call.
Even the rejections?
Even the rejections. And multiple guides covering this cycle frame that feedback as the single most underused asset a rejected founder walks away with. Most people read it once, feel bad, and never open it again.
Instead of treating it like a scouting report.
Exactly. 2 or 3 partners, 10 minutes, telling you precisely what they weren't convinced of.
That reframes the no. It's not a verdict, it's a punch list.
There's a bigger reframe, too. One founder guide I came across, Flow Jams, put out a number worth sitting with. Something like 40% of accepted companies each batch are still idea stage, no revenue.
40%?
That's their read, and I'd hold it loosely since it's one outside account, not YC's own filing. But if it's even close to right, it means traction isn't the filter everyone assumes it is.
So the feature Nadia killed, the customers she chased, that might matter less to the decision than she thinks.
Might,
Or it might be exactly why she got an interview at all. That's the part you can't know from outside.
Which is almost worse. You can't game a filter you can't see.
No, you can't.
So the partner's looking for movement, not proof. And the money and the feedback both land the same day as the answer, whichever way it goes.
Same day, no lag.
17 days from right now, Nadia finds out which version of tomorrow she's building.
And whatever the letter says, there's a second document sitting right behind it.
Yeah, so here's my number for September. Whichever way the email goes, I want to know if she calls that pilot customer back.
Not the investors?
No, the customer, the one who never touched the feature she killed. If she's still chasing that relationship after a no, that tells me more than any term sheet.
I see. Mine's smaller. I want to know if she names a co-founder. Doesn't have to be the current one, just does she stop dodging the question?
That's the one she wouldn't answer twice.
Right, and silence on that after a yes or no is still an answer.
17 days until the 28th.
17 days, August 28th. That's the date on the email and nothing before it changes anything.
No amount of pattern matching gets her there early.
Nope. She just waits it out. Keeps working the way she has been.
Or doesn't. That's the thing. We don't know which version of her shows up on the 28th.
We don't.
August 28th.
We'll have her answer either way.
Toughly. We keep coming back to that 90 seconds after the email landed.
Yeah, she opens her build log, writes down the exact minute. That's someone treating a status update like data.
And that's where we're leaving it, honestly. Everyone's just waiting.
17 days. August 28th is when the decision lands. And that waiting period, that's when what she does tells you more than anything she says.
We don't know which way it goes.
Nope, not yet.
Know a first-year founder with a story like Nadia's? Send them our way. year1@heymato.com.
And if this stuck with you, leave a review. Founders listen to those more than you think, especially when they're still in the waiting.
Thanks for being here for this one.
We'll be back the moment she hears.
Yes or no.
Either way, we're telling you what happens next.
See you then.